Hey, my fellow multidimensionals. It's Aisha Love, founder of Multidimensional You. Okay, so I have been given the directive to do a several-part vlog series about awakening the healer within. Last year, about this time, some of you may remember, I was given the directive to make a video series on the healing renaissance that we have entered. We'll tag the playlist here in the video description for you. So this fall, it feels like, with the ascension schedule well underway, dimensional blend schedule well underway, many of you have been tapped to really come to this next level of answering the call. The way that I'm going to frame this is I'm going to try to put everything I've learned about being a healer. I use the term more metaphysician these days because I'm working with multidimensional physics and engineering and that, but let's just use healer for shorthand. And I really want to help save you some dead ends and some just help you focus on what really matters as part of answering the call to step into your soul alignment, your soul plan alignment with being a healer at this time. Namely, and I'm going to start right out of the gate with this one because I think it's so important to frame it up this way. Playing the healer is still being in a role. It's still playing a role. It's still playing a game. Just like if you want to play surgeon or teacher or mom or whatever, right? And it's really been rampant in the metaphysical world to somewhat condescendingly refer to those traditional conventional constructs as, muggles and 3D and all of that. But hold your horses, because playing the healer is still playing a role. And oh yeah, I can feel the whole field is so excited that we're getting this, because you're going to save yourself a lot of spiritual ego tripping and the I'm special tripping and I have huge gaps in my shadow work tripping, because on my journey I went through all of that and then realized, of course, I was held back by my own spirit guide team quite often, being like, woo, woo, woo. These abilities are not special. They're very normal in other systems and civilizations. Watch the ego. But I could see where that would be a real pitfall and a trap, and that eventually you would just have to deconstruct the spiritual ego too. So for many of you, you're going to just be answering the call to stepping into your healing purpose in like maybe very nascent or beginning ways, I'm being told. But then also some of you are stepping into another level, and this is applicable all the way through all the levels. So let's just check the ego at the door, acknowledge that we're still playing a role in this amazing organic living creation simulation that we're in, and we're not more special than anyone else. If anything, we're just exploring a role of showing up in service to help heal as a unique kind of niche. Okay? Really important to get that down as like foundational before we move on to answering that call. Okay, now very interestingly, right now what just dropped in, on the flip side of let's avoid the spiritual ego, I'm a healer, I'm special trap, is the complete opposite side of the coin. I'm not a healer. Not me. What? Not me. Nope. I don't identify with that. All the resistance, even though you may have had some profound experiences already and you are just so resistant to, calling yourself special. It's the flip side. It's the same issue, just the other side of it. So you may be developing a bit of it's kind of an ego trip on, not me. I don't put myself on a pedestal. I'm not doing that. But you're ending up in another trap, which is like the trap of resistance to who you really are, and self-rejection lies underneath that. And so you don't want to be judged, rejected, and so you're just going to do that yourself first. So now that we've kind of put all the tricky widgets on the table, you know what to look for, kind of a minefield. Doesn't mean you won't step your foot in them once in a while and, twist your ankle here or there, but you'll know what it is. You'll know what it is. You won't go full in there and, be stuck in there and operating out of that wounded ego space for a long period of time, which is really important, I'm being told, because it just doesn't feel like that's where the collective is interested in playing, because things are moving so fast. If anything, what I'm being shown is, it's one thing to get your coat caught in the car door when it's still. It's another thing to get your coat caught in the car door when it's moving, and when it's moving really fast. So that's what's presencing itself as to why this is important, to not go into these ego traps and these resistance traps at this time, because your sole purpose calling to step into healing service at this time, and why you agreed during this time. And when I say this time, I'm talking about dimensional blend of ascension. And so a lot of the dimensional levels, the way we think about them, are beginning to shift into an experience of everyone coming home into source self remembering. And that is a full embodiment experience. So let's get down to the fun part. How do you know you're a healer? You already know. You can feel it. And when I talk about it, something inside of you lights up, even if you wish it wouldn't. Right? You're like, no, not that. I remember I had a client once who said an intuitive saw them from across the street, came walking over and said right to her face, "You are a healer. You know, you have amazing gifts." And she remembered being like, "Get away from me. Stop talking to me." And that's how you're going to know. It's just there's a little bit of a ding, a little something lights up. And of course, if you found your way to my channel, I am on the planet to activate the world's healers, in part. I put a lot on my plate for this round. other roles, but this is a huge piece of what I'm doing here. I am the healer's healer. Actually, I just heard you're the healer's champion. I am your champion. I'm here to inspire and encourage you and to remind you of who you are. I see you, even if you don't fully see yourself yet. Yeah, there we go. That was an activation. So you're getting called up. Why? Because we are in a time of enormous shift. And when you go through a shift like this, think of it like everything from the bottom of the well. Everything from the bottom of the well is getting pulled up into the light. So for all of us, we're having to deal with old ancestral shadow trauma that has never been healed. And it's all coming to the surface, and no one's going to get a pass during this time. So many people, this is why the world is in a mental health crisis. You know, a lot of people could point to COVID, but it's really only circumstantial. Why did COVID bring so much to the surface? Because it slowed everything down and made people just sit and face everything that they may have been running from for a long time. Then you add in the frequency shift we're in. Anything in high elevation, high vibrational frequency will tend to pull up shadow. My field is high frequency. I walk into a room and I just watch it pull everybody's shadow right to the surface. And I watch people's faces kind of usually go, wah, right? Because all of a sudden they're starting to feel all of this self-revealed self-disclosure from within begin to make itself known to them. And usually it just feels like discomfort. They feel like they're being seen in ways that maybe they don't want to be seen, or parts of them are being seen. So that is happening across the board. And that means that, you know, just like the world's mental health practitioners are seeing a huge uptick and can barely keep up with the volume of demand, the world's healers are beginning to experience the very same phenomenon. And as healers, you will be placed to serve people on the front lines of that mental health crisis. So that could be all of the world's traditional physicians, and definitely the field of mental health and psychotherapy, as well as, you know, the average lay person. But what I'm finding is you're going to have like a niche, a jam that you really enjoy serving, okay? Usually based in your own walk, your own journey. Maybe you had a really difficult relationship with your mother or one of your parents. You're just going to be super attuned to what it took for you to heal and transform in the context of that challenge. Pay it forward. So don't overthink this. Okay, the other thing that really wants to present itself and presence itself at this time is beware perfection paralysis. In my direct experience running a program I ran for almost a decade, I was shown over and over again, people do not need a certification in anything. You don't need a certification to be certified in yourself. You at the soul level are an incredible multidimensional being. You have curated a vast array of experiences across many different fractals and many different star systems and dimensions. And this is not your first rodeo being a healer. So you're going to take all of that composite wisdom and you're going to bring it forward in only the way you uniquely can. In order to do that, you have to trust yourself. I was once told by a well-known healer, even on your worst day, you're still helping people. So basically, get out there. Stop sitting on this because you don't feel like you know what you're doing. It's in service, that you become the instrument that the healing will serve through you. So you don't get to like know a bunch of stuff up front and then deliver it in the way we were trained in school. It's much more, I'm willing to be of service. I will allow myself to be the instrument. I was just talking with a friend and colleague about this. Let the I not be the personal pronoun I, the ego I, but the I for instrument. And then, of course, like the I for source, seeing through, expressing through, serving through you, because we're all source fractals. So beware perfection paralysis. Just get going. You'll be amazed what comes through you. I call them stare at the wall days or moments where amazing things, profound things happen. And I just have to stare at the wall. So be prepared to be amazed at what comes through you. Beware the ego traps, both sides of them, of I'm special, I'm not special at all. Find that middle ground of just, isn't it lovely to be in this position of playing healer and learning and experiencing, and just keep a light touch, literally and metaphysically and metaphorically. And you may have noticed the beautiful aspen that I'm filming in today. I am up at Targhee Ski Resort. We went all the way up to the top of the summit at 10,000 feet to see the backside of the Grand Tetons, and have been out here wandering around enjoying ourselves. So Jackson events are coming up. If you missed the last announcement, there is a mission day on Friday, September 20th. We still have some spots left for that. If you want to join me on, multidimensional fieldwork day, look for the information below. There will also be a 2 to 3 hour event, shamanic hike, meditation, multidimensional experience on Equinox Sunday, the 22nd. Details below. And if you'd like to book a private day with me here or two, I'm available for that as well. An amazing intensive for you to really get to activate at your next level. So to help this message reach more people, of course, like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji. But more specifically, I want to invite you to step up and really allow yourself to commit. Even though you might not know what you're committing to, just make a declaration. I'm willing to listen to the inner directives that my soul is giving to me and stay out of resistance. And you will not know 10 steps out. You'll know one. You'll be lucky if you know 2 or 3. Just take the next one. Ramses III, Pharaoh Ramses III, 2017 nap, woke me up, showed me. You don't get to know the whole path. I'm on a path. I chose that specifically. You are the path. And the pylons will rise to meet you as you walk it. You won't get to see it all the way through. So I hope that's helpful and encouraging as well. Just keep going. Start walking. And you've got this. I believe in you. I know who you are. And it's time for you to remember. The last thing that I want to say is that your gifts are not hidden. They are just waiting for you to embrace them fully. I can't tell you the number of times I've had people tell me, I don't know what my gifts are. Let's not play that game. Okay? Just commit to showing up in service and allowing whatever wants to come through to come through. They're not hidden. On some level of your multidimensional being, you absolutely know what they are. So again, let's not play the game of I have to know first and then I can do. Flip it, and you will be amazed at what works through you. I'm speaking from direct experience here. This is how I've rolled the whole time, and I've been mind blown and heart blown as to what can go down. Okay? All right, with that, I love you all so much. I'll see some of you in Jackson very soon, and I hope you have a very magical, multidimensional day.